Hey there, welcome back to my YouTube channel where today I'm talking about the 5 biggest expenses when you travel and how to save considerable money on each one. It's basically the ultimate guide on how to plan your dream vacation without breaking the bank. And yes, I promise you it is possible. I know because I use these hacks every time I travel and we save literally thousands of dollars. Let's start with a look at what we spend the most money on when we travel, including what Forbes said we spend on each, on average, in 2023. First of all, no surprise, would be flights. The average round-trip domestic flight was $427 per person last year. According to Forbes, a mid-range hotel ran about $167 a night. Of course, that could vary widely based on where you're going. Daily car rental was just under $50 per day and a little over $100 per person to eat out at restaurants per day. Again, this really depends on where you go. But for a family of 4 taking just a 3-night vacation, all of this comes up to around $3,600. That's just for 3 nights. But don't despair. If you're hoping to plan a perfect vacation with your family, this video will help you save thousands of dollars, and that's true if you're just going by yourself too. Now, the first crucial step in planning your budget-friendly getaway is deciding where you're gonna go and when to go there. Keep in mind the bigger cities like San Francisco, New York, Paris, London. They're of course gonna cost you more money. Another idea would be to stay outside of the city limits, and you could save hundreds of dollars by being just a short public transit or Uber ride away. Also, you may want to consider opting for the off-season. Not only will the crowds be smaller, but you can save in almost every category by planning a shoulder season vacation. So now let's talk about the big ticket item, flights. Seems like flight prices just keep going up and the deals are harder and harder to find, but they are still out there, I promise you. My best advice and where I start would be to start your planning right away, set up flight alerts. My favorite tool to do this is Google Flights. You can literally go onto Google Flights, find the routes that you like, the times, even the airlines that you want, and set an alert so you get an email whenever those rates on those flights change. You may also want to go to the individual airline websites and sign up for their alert emails so that you know before they actually post when certain routes might go on sale. Finally, there are some great travel credit cards that'll help you earn points to make those flights a little more affordable. Sometimes you can use these points in other ways too. There are a lot of programs out there that can help you find great deals on flights, some of them even acting as travel agents for you and tracking down the best deals. Makes it really easy. And I have saved a ton of money with some of these programs, but the huge downside is if you have a problem during the travel, like one of the legs of your flight is delayed so you miss the next leg, or say your flight is canceled altogether, usually those programs can't help you a whole lot. They're going to tell you to call the airline and you didn't book directly with the airline, so it's a lot more trouble. Your best bet really is just to have booked directly with the airline and find the best deal there. With that said, those airlines do have great deals as well. Set the alerts and whatever route you choose, be ready to pounce when you find that golden opportunity because prices can change really quickly. So if you see a deal, jump on it. Your next big expense, and depending on how long you're traveling for, this can be by far your biggest chunk of money. It's lodging. And what I mentioned earlier about staying outside of the city limits, lodging is one place where you can really save a bundle by doing this. There are hotels, there's Airbnb, but my favorite way to save on lodging is through home exchange, basically a home swap. If you're willing to swap your home, which can be really safe, affordable, easy, and fun to do, you can literally save thousands of dollars on a trip. We spent 2 weeks in Paris in a 5-bedroom, beautiful Parisian flat last summer. I did the math and it saved us more than $10,000 on the trip. 5 bedrooms, there were only 4 of us. It was amazing. There's no way we could have stayed for 2 weeks in a 5-bedroom home in the middle of the action. We were in the Latin Quarter without home exchange. So it really can be a great deal when it comes to lodging. What you'll pay here though, home exchange charges $220 for an annual subscription. So for $220, that'll allow you to do all the exchanges you want, anywhere you want for an entire year. So whether you're planning for 1 night or 1 full month, and whether it's a studio apartment or a 5-bedroom flat, you're only going to pay $220 one time a year, which I like to tell people is basically the average price of one night in a hotel room in Chicago. You are not going to find a better deal. I also want to say this video is not sponsored by Home Exchange. I'm just genuinely a huge fan and have had some amazing experiences. Oh, there's my dog. There's Kona. She loves to go on vacation with us too. If you're interested in learning more, there's a link below to Home Exchange in the show notes. And honestly, there are some incredible places to stay on Home Exchange that'll save you so much money and give you a more authentic vacation experience, especially if you're going to another country and you really want to get a feel for the culture and the individual neighborhoods. Another thing I love about Home Exchange, and another place you can save money on a vacation, is when it comes to food. As we all know, dining out can add up really quickly, especially if you're a family of 4 eating out 3 times a day. If you're staying in a home and you're taking full use of the kitchen, that can save you a whole lot of money. And a bonus, it's kind of fun to go grocery shopping when you're on vacation, when you're in another country, because you're often exposed to different foods and different brands that are native to that area, and it's really kind of fun to experiment with them. I like to stock up on breakfast and lunch items from the grocery store so we can eat a good breakfast before we head out of the house for the day. And it can be really fun to pack a picnic lunch as well and take that with us. Then just plan maybe one big meal out that evening. That'll save you a lot of money. Another thought, you can eat in for dinner because that's typically the most expensive meal at restaurants. And then you can just grab a quick sandwich or hit a quick restaurant for a casual breakfast or lunch, or maybe brunch while you're out exploring for the day. This can save you a lot of money too, and just pack your own snacks. What I would recommend not doing is buying food near any of the major attractions. If you buy a crepe within walking distance of the Eiffel Tower, you are almost guaranteed to pay considerably more than if you get the same crepe just a few blocks away, and I speak from experience, it's real. If you're staying at a hotel, the best 2 hacks that I have for saving on food is to make sure you book a place with a free continental breakfast. That's a huge one. Also, secondly, having a refrigerator and microwave in your room can be super helpful. You can often rather put these in the search criteria when you're looking at hotels online and just make sure you get that. It'll help you just with those snacks, maybe some breakfast stuff, and leftovers you can keep. Moving on to how you'll get around once you're there. From public transit to budget car rentals, I've got a lot of tips in this category to consider as well. The first, and honestly my favorite, is to explore areas with strong and safe public transit systems. London, for example, is a place you wouldn't want to have a car because it's so difficult to drive around there on your own. But their public transit system is amazing. It's cheaper and a lot easier to get around that way. You won't have to deal with traffic or parking, both of which can be a huge nightmare in London. Also, when you're looking for lodging, look specifically for places that are close to a public transit route or are easily walkable or bikeable. If you are needing to rent a car, check out Discover Cars. That's where I like to book rentals because you have access to a huge variety of options. They're pretty much everywhere. They have 24/7 customer service and free cancellations, which all bonuses. Check out my link for Discover Cars in the show notes below. They are not sponsoring this video. I'm just a fan and a user. Another note on renting a car, if you go this route, make sure you have parking available where you're staying. In some places, like San Francisco, for instance, parking alone can cost $50 or more a day. And if you're street parking, that can be really hard to find too. And now for the fun part, what to do once you're there. Once again, you can save money just by taking a little bit of time to plan ahead. One hack I love when I visit a new city is to sign up for a free walking tour right away when you get there. A lot of cities have them, and it allows you to kind of move around after traveling to your destination. And the tour guides are always experts on the region. They usually live there themselves, and they can give you great advice on what to see and what to skip, as well as the best times of days and the best ways to save on those sites. If you're into museums, some cities have free museum days. If you like the theater, make sure you choose a matinee or a weekday show instead of prime time when the tickets are most expensive. All of those tips will save you a lot of money just on the fun things that you're gonna wanna do in these places. If you love the outdoors, one of the best ways to see an area without spending a lot of money, of course, is to hit the trails and the beaches. But hop online first or ask your tour guide on that free walking tour to find out which locations don't charge entry fees or parking fees. If you're in a place that has a lot of attractions, you might want to check into whether they have some kind of city pass. A lot of major cities, you can pay one price for a pass that'll get you into many of the top destinations, rather than buying tickets individually for each of the places that you want to go. Great way to save money. Usually it's like a 1 day, 2 day, you buy a few days of a pass and you have to cram it all in then, but saves you money. Lastly, it's not on the list of major expenses, but it certainly contributes to how much you spend overall. I'm talking about budgeting. Setting a budget from the beginning can be a great travel compass, keeping you on track and helping you prioritize your expenses. These are the most major expenses, but make sure you build in some extra funds for souvenirs, surprises, and whatnot. So there you have it, some of my favorite ways to save on your big ticket expenses when you travel. And I know it can add up really quickly, but with a little bit of pre-planning, you can literally save thousands of dollars on a trip and have your dream vacation without breaking the bank. Now, if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe for more travel tips, and please share with your fellow adventure seekers. Also, if you have a favorite travel hack that I didn't include, I'd love to hear it. Drop your ideas in the comments below, and bon voyage, happy vacation planning.